Crossover. It's one word that almost every Identity V player looks forward to every year or every season. That isn't surprising. One of the biggest things that makes this game so attractive is its skins. Crossovers give characters stunning skins that players can admire, collect, or even brag about to their friends. Speaking of crossovers, there are quite a few fan concepts that I think could actually work in Identity V. Alice, Madness Returns is one of the games that many Identity V fans have wanted to see collaborate with the game. If you're familiar with Alice's adventures in Wonderland, then the premise won't feel completely unfamiliar. Many of the characters are inspired by Lewis Carroll's classic story, although the game takes a much darker tone. Alice, Madness Returns follows Alice Liddell, a young girl who lost her parents and sister in a house fire. Believing herself to be responsible for the tragedy, Alice struggles to cope with the trauma and eventually lives in an orphanage run by a man named Angus Bumby. Although she convinces herself that she has moved on, the nightmares of the fire continue to haunt her, eventually leading her to uncover the truth behind what really happened. This crossover has actually been conceptualized by many players. Alice herself is often imagined as either she or Alice DeRoss, thanks to their similarities in gameplay and lore, respectively. Angus Bumby is commonly paired with Servace Leroy because of their similar appearance. Meanwhile, the Queen of Hearts shares so many striking similarities with the Bloody Queen that the two feel like a perfect match for one another. I've always admired Shiki. The horror, the gore, the art, I think it would make an excellent crossover for Identity V. Thankfully, many fans seem to agree. Shiki tells the story of a fictional, slow-living village in Japan called Sotoba. One day, a mysterious Kirishiki family moves into the village. After that, a deadly illness begins spreading throughout the area, resulting in a massive loss of life. The village's doctor, Toshio Ozaki, along with a Buddhist priest named Seishin Muroi, tries to investigate the incident. However, what they discover isn't a plague at all. It's something far more sinister. For this crossover, I'd choose 4 main characters and 1 supporting character. The village's doctor, Toshio Ozaki, could be portrayed by Professor Luchino Daruz, given their similar scientific backgrounds. The Buddhist priest, Seishin Muroi, would fit Orpheus quite well because both of them wrote novels. The brave student, Natsuno Yuki, could be portrayed by Nabe Subadar because of their courageous personalities. As for the supporting character, Megumi Shimizu could be portrayed by Lily Barrier, since both share similar hairstyles and cheerful personalities. Lastly, the story's main antagonist, a girl who appears to be nothing more than a cute little child named Kirishiki Sanako, would naturally be portrayed by none other than the little girl herself. When I first came across this idea, I honestly couldn't think of many ways it could be adapted into Identity V. Vocaloid is basically a machine that can produce music. It is a singing voice synthesizer software that produces vocals using pre-recorded voice banks after users input lyrics and melodies. Over the years, it has introduced many iconic virtual singers, each with their own mascot and identity. Among the most iconic Vocaloids was Hatsune Miku. If Identity V were to collaborate with Vocaloid, I definitely want to see Hatsune Miku as female dancer. To me, Miku's energetic and graceful performances fit her perfectly. Beyond that, I don't have many strong ideas. Maybe Kagomine Rin could be Vera, or perhaps Mirai Kamachi could be Brynhilder. Overall, I wouldn't be the most excited if this collaboration actually happened, but I'd still be interested to see how the developers would bring the idea to life. One thing I can say about Higurashi is that its writer is incredibly clever. The series is full of plot twists that can leave you both frustrated and amazed at the same time. In fact, those twists are one of the biggest reasons why the series became so popular. The story takes place in a fictional village called Hinamizawa, where characters such as Furid Rika, Rina Ryugu, Keiichi Mibara, and many others live. The village is known for a mysterious legend called Oyashiro-sama's curse. According to the legend, anyone who tries to leave the village will be cursed, suffering from severe paranoia and terrifying hallucinations before eventually taking their own life. As the story unfolds, however, the true origin of the curse turns out to be far darker than the legend suggests. As for the crossover itself, I'd choose 3 characters based mainly on their personalities and traits. Gardner would make a good Rina Ryugu because both hide a darker side beneath an innocent appearance. Furid Rika would fit Priestess well, as both have strong supernatural elements tied to their stories. Keiichi Mibara is sometimes seen with a baseball bat during his desperate moments, making batter a natural choice to portray him. Neon Genesis Evangelion may seem like a story about mysterious alien beings invading Earth, but that's only what it appears to be on the surface. As the series progresses, it explores much deeper themes such as depression, loneliness, and the human desire to be understood. That's one of the reasons why Evangelion has remained beloved by both younger and older audiences. The story takes place in a post-apocalyptic version of Tokyo, where giant alien beings known as the Angels repeatedly attack humanity. To fight back, the world develops massive biomechanical machines called Evangelions. The series follows Shinji Ikari, a teenager who is forced to pilot one of these machines, alongside fellow pilots Asuka Langley Soryu and Rei Ayanami. Rei's quiet personality reminds me of Wendy Foote, which is why I think Rei will be portrayed by Wendy. Asuka Langley Soryu could be portrayed by either Lily Barrier or Ann Lester based on looks, while Shinji Ikari feels befit Norton Campbell. Fran Bow might be one of the games that shares the most similarities with Identity V's main story. Both feature dark psychological themes involving mental illness, asylums, hallucinations, and major plot twists. That said, I should mention that Fran Bow contains some disturbing imagery like blood and violent stuffs that may not be suitable for everyone. The story follows Fran Bow, a young girl who witnesses the murder of her parents. Traumatized by the incident, she flees into the woods before eventually waking up in Oswald Asylum, where she is placed under psychiatric care. But things just do not as simple as it looks. Fran Bow's situation, it turned out, is proven to be far more complicated than it first appears. If this crossover were ever to happen, I think Fran Bow herself would fit Alice DeRoss, or, more precisely, Little Girl, better than anyone else. Their stories share many similarities, making the pairing feel surprisingly natural. As for Mr. Midnight, Fran's loyal black cat, he could easily be represented by Memory's doll. I was never really a fan of Korean web novels, or Korean media in general, so I didn't know much about this series until someone recommended it to me. Apparently, Omniscient Reader's viewpoint follows Kim Doksha, an ordinary office worker whose life is, frankly, quite boring. To pass the time, he spends his commute reading a web novel. Or at least, that's how the story begins. Just as he's about to finish the novel, the world suddenly transforms into an apocalypse, one that's eerily similar to the very novel he has been reading. Using the knowledge he gained from the story, Kim Doksha must navigate this new reality and survive alongside his companions. Like I said before, I still don't know this franchise very well. However, I do know that Kim Doksha and Han Soo-young are one of the community's most popular pairings. Because of that, I'd cast them as Emil and Ada respectively. If you have a better idea, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm still exploring this franchise myself, and I've been enjoying it so far. Alongside IB and Angels of Death, Mad Father was one of the horror games created with RPG Maker that helped define the indie horror scene during the 2010s. In fact, I actually played it back in 2015, when it was still available for free. The story takes place in Germany and follows a young girl named Aya Dravis, who lives with her father, Alfred, a respected doctor, and his assistant Maria. At first, they appear to be an ordinary family. However, Aya eventually discovers that Alfred has been conducting horrific experiments on humans, and both she and Maria have known more than they initially let on. Since Aya is a young girl, she'd naturally be portrayed by the little girl. Alfred, being a mad scientist, would fit either Professor Lucino Deruz or Orpheus because of their scientific backgrounds. I'm still unsure about Maria, but I think Brynhildur could suit her quite well. Since Maria is skilled at throwing knives, perhaps Brynhildur's abilities could be animated a little differently to match her fighting style. This series is honestly a hidden gem. What initially looks like a straightforward action story gradually becomes something much more tragic and emotional. The story takes place in a distant future where humanity no longer exists. Instead, the Earth is inhabited by a race of gemstone beings known as the Lustrous. They were created by an entity named Kongu, who himself was originally created by humans before humanity went extinct. The Lustrous constantly fight against mysterious beings called the Lunarians, who seek to capture them for reasons that become increasingly important as the story unfolds. By the end of the series, there's a plot twist that genuinely made me tear up a little. As for the crossover, I could imagine Antiquarian as Bored, Undead as Kongu, Gardener as Phosphophilite. I'm not entirely sure this would be the perfect lineup, but those were the first pairings that came to mind based on both their appearances and abilities. One of the most overlooked crossover opportunities, Fatal Frame 4, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse tells the story of several characters whose lives are connected to Rojetsu Island. Once a thriving tourist destination, the island had its own unique tradition of worshipping the moon. During one important ritual, however, something went terribly wrong, leading to the outbreak of a mysterious illness known as Moonlight Syndrome. Those affected gradually suffer from hallucinations and hysteria before ultimately losing their lives. The failed ritual caused a devastating tragedy, claiming countless lives and forcing the island to be abandoned. Years later, several people returned to Rojetsu Island, each searching for answers or confronting their own past. For this crossover, I'd cast Alice as Ruka Minazuki, since both are trying to recover memories they have lost. Misaki Asu, who suffers from Moonlight Syndrome, could be portrayed by Emma. Her close relationship with Madoka Tsukumori also reminds me of Emma and Emily. Lastly, the detective Choshiro Kurashima would make a fitting Orpheus, as both spend much of their stories uncovering long-buried mysteries. There are still plenty of franchises that could make great Identity V crossovers, but I think I'll save those for another video. If you have your own crossover ideas or different character pairings, feel free to share them in the comments. I'd love to read them. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.